So this is what the Lord ended up letting me know what happened, because back then I didn't know what happened, but the Lord ended up telling me what they did. So my boyfriend at the time, Sam, and his best friend orchestrated a plan just so they could be able to leave me at my hotel by myself. So basically, they devised this plan to start this argument to give an excuse for my boyfriend and I to get into an argument and him to leave. Come with me while I tell my business, y'all. Welcome to Receiving Related. This is your first time here. I'm so glad you clicked on this video for story time. My name is Tara Walker. Please excuse the nails. I do not subscribe to Pride Month. I had these done in May, and I'm just going to leave it at that. We carried over into June, okay? I do not subscribe to Pride. Okay, but anyway, so glad you're here if this is your first time here. If you are a returning subscriber and or a returning visitor, hey y'all, hey. And welcome back. So so this episode is about we on the continuation of the, is that a word? Anyway, we're continuing on the story of the boyfriend that I met, the Jamaican boyfriend, okay? And the playlist is called How Tara Did Not Get Her Groove Back, okay? So if you are not familiar, please go back and binge watch from episode 1. All right. So this episode, we are in the Airbnb. I had, as some, if you've been already watching, I got an Airbnb for us this time. This is my second time. I met him in May for my birthday, and then I went back to Jamaica in August/September of the same year. This Airbnb and the hotel it wasn't one of those. It wasn't a modern or a what you would call a contemporary hotel at all, but it had a kitchen, and that was what I was mainly looking for because the best friend agreed to cook for us the majority of the meals of the majority of the dinners that we were there. And so but this Airbnb didn't have like the deluxe stainless steel nothing. Okay, there was no dishwasher. You had to wash hands and everything. Wash your dishes by hands and everything, but it had air conditioning, it had running water, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't nasty looking. So I bought it. But I'm talking about the kitchen and everything for a reason. So what happened was this was one of the nights where he was supposed to come, the best friend was coming over to cook, right? And so I had washed the dishes earlier that day. Now, I will admit, I did not wash them probably as thoroughly as I would at home because I was tired of washing dishes. I really did appreciate the best friend cooking for us, but like a lot of men, they don't clean as they cook. You see what I'm saying? So we left with a tornado of a kitchen, and I am on my vacation. Can I say it again? I'm on my vacation. I did not come on my vacation to be washing dishes, but I really appreciated him. It wasn't for free. I bought the groceries now, okay? At least the majority of them. I think he bought some stuff, but I bought the majority of stuff. And so I couldn't complain too much because he was, he was really saving me some money. But so this is it ain't no probably, this is my last night, as a matter of fact, because my flight was out the next day. My flight was to leave the next day. So this was the last night. So now I've been washing dishes all week. So I'm pretty sure, couple of pans or whatever didn't get as clean, as before. And so what happened? So he comes over and begins to start cooking, the best friend. And so me and the boyfriend are laying in the bed. That Airbnb had two a set of 2 full-size beds. No, they weren't twin. 2 full-size beds. So we was in one particular bed, just laying down, chilling. And he was on his phone, of course, which he did a lot. While I was there, he was on his phone a lot. And so the best friend comes over with this, I don't have nothing to, let's say this is the pan or whatever, right? The best friend comes over the pan, and remember I told you a couple episodes ago, he doesn't speak very good English, right? So bits and pieces, and then he talks fast, right? So bits and pieces you'll get, but then some you be like, what? But I know what he was saying with this, right? Because he was like, no, Tara, look around, look, it's not clean or whatever. I was like, first of all. And remember, because I appreciate him cooking, but I was like, the way he was going on me was like he was my father a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He had his voice had elevated. He was always the calm, cool, and collect. I never seen him get mad. Not like the narcissist. You know what I'm saying? We was always cool. We dapping each other up. You know what I'm saying? So when the way he came at me, though, it was just a little bit extra than it. I was just like, okay, my bad. Now, I looked to the boyfriend, okay, mistakenly thinking that he was going to have my back and say, you know what I'm saying, hey, dude, relax, it's all good, you know. He just looks like, yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, he agreeing with he had nothing to say to back me up with it, right? So I'm just like, okay, my bad. And so he goes back in the kitchen and finish cooking. So then he cooks. And while he's cooking, I don't even know if I can say this part because I don't know how to say it I have to filter. I'll just say, like, while the friend is cooking, the best way I can say it is, because we didn't have full-blown sex, but just some friskiness went on. Okay, that's the best way I can put it. Like, I can't, and I won't give extra details on here. So you know, if I ever write a book or whatever, maybe about it, maybe it'll go in the book. But basically, some friskiness went on while he was in the kitchen cooking. And but the way he did it was like the way he did the friskiness was like, let me just do something real quick just to make her happy type thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how else the better way to put that. You know, it was just like something to just do real quick to satisfy me and I guess make me feel good at the time or better at the time, because I was a little blown at he knew I was blown at the fact, like, the dude that he ain't had my back on this situation with this pot, this dirty pot. We're gonna call it the dirty pot scandal, Potgate. We're gonna call it Potgate, right? You know, and so I feel like he just did something just to get it out of the way. It was just a very narcissistic type of move, and if you understood what I'm trying to express, you will understand what I'm trying to express. Okay. So anyway, so that happened. And then he finished cooking. We all ate. And my boyfriend, he used to wear this gold chain with everything. Like, he would even wear it to sleep. And for whatever reason, he took it off this particular day. And it was on the dresser. So he was in the bathroom doing number 2. At least that's what he said when he went in there. And so I took the chain, because he was in there for a while. I took the chain, knocked on the door, and just opened the door like this and did like this. And he was on his phone, right? And which was, like I said, he was on his phone all the time. I was just trying to give him his chain, right? So he like almost snatches the chain out of my hand and just like throws it on the counter. But what I know now, what was going on, the reason why he was on his phone, he wasn't texting just anybody. He was texting. This is what the Holy Spirit had revealed to me. Okay, he was texting the best friend. They was texting each other in the house. Remember that they was devising a plan to get out of there, right? So he finally comes out of the bathroom. And it was just like out of nowhere, y'all. He just starts packing up his stuff. We didn't even like get into we wasn't even like no argument. You know what I'm saying? He just starts packing up his stuff. And he was like, I was like, where are you doing? Where are you going? He was like, I'm going home. I'm going home. What? Why are you going home? Like, what's going on? Whatever. So he ignores me and proceeded to pack up the few little clothes and whatever that he had with him. And he left. All his stuff. He packed up all his stuff, y'all. He ain't leave nothing there. There was nothing left. He packed up everything. And he and his friend left. So I'm still like, my thinking cap is not turned on. So what I was thinking was, I was like, because he's straight narcissist. By now I know he's just evil for no reason. And his ways, his how he was acting was reminding me of my first husband. Or the narcissist, it was reminding me of my first husband. So I was starting to unfortunately getting used to his ways and stuff. So I was like, well, maybe he just did, just made a scene, whatever, because there's narcissistic act. And maybe he took his clothes home because he's going to get some new clothes and come back or whatever. Y'all. When they left, the sun was still up, which means it was before 9 o'clock, whenever the sun goes down in the summertime, 9, 10 o'clock, right? He was gone. He did not come back in that hotel room. Oh, he did not knock back on my door. He knocked on the door. Because I locked it, of course, right? I know it was like, I think I looked at the clock. I know it was like 1 or 2 or something in the morning. Now, while he was gone, by the time the nightfall came, and I'm going to say around probably about 10, 11 o'clock, it finally, the thinking captain turned on now. And I realized, I came to the revelation that he left and he's not coming back. And I was devastated. Because you have to understand prophets, okay? And not just prophets. Let me just say that. But I'm saying prophet because most prophets dealt with some type of rejection or abandonment in their life. But let's just say you're not even a prophet. If you've dealt with any trauma of rejection or abandonment in your life, when it happens again, it's very triggering for you. And so him leaving without no real rhyme or reason, packing up his stuff like that and just rolling out on the vacation that I paid for us to be together without saying anything to me, it brought me back to the abandoned little girl I was. And when I say I boo-hoo, I had a friend at the time, I had a girlfriend at the time that I would talk to from time to time, and she was African. And I texted her and told her about what she was livid. She was like, what? How can you get out of there now, right? And guess who else I called? Yep, you guessed it. I called my hubby. I called Anthony, my bestie. And you told somebody mad. Oh, he was mad. But he was like, once again, you are a queen, Tara. He kept telling me that. Why are you putting up with, he would say BS. Why are you putting up with this balance BS? Like, he did what? Run that by me again? And so anybody that knows my husband and know him personally, they know he's a very good listener anyway, right? So he had friends for years that would always call him and dump on them their problems because he's a good listener, and then he's a good talker too. And so he listened to my every word. I told him everything that happened the whole time I was there. And he was just like, and why are you still there? And I was like, I'm telling y'all, I almost did. I had a person that I could call and pick me up to. This was the person, the first trip to Jamaica back in May that me and my hairstylist went on when I first met the old dude. When we went back to the airport, there was a guy, our Uber guy, that took us back to the airport. We exchanged numbers because had I already decided to come? Well, I just exchanged numbers with him in case I decided to come back, because he was a driver for he was an Uber driver for the airports and stuff like that. So, and we had kept in touch in the summer too. I think he had a little crush on me too, but I ain't had no crush on him. But we only text once in a while and stuff like that. Ain't nothing heavy come out of it at all. But I had his number. And as a matter of fact, I texted him when I got there. But because remember when I told you I had got to the airport and the boyfriend wasn't there yet, and don't worry, I wasn't gonna have to be standing there long if he hadn't showed up. I had a way, because the dude told me let him know when I land if I need him to come and pick me up. He was already prepared to come and pick me up and take me where I need to go. So I had him. I had somebody in the back pocket. I had somebody to come and pick me up and take me to that airport. And if I had to spend the night, I could have. But I decided not to. I decided to keep my flights the way they was, and because the way he remember he took all the stuff. He took everything. He did not leave nothing. And when I said, "Are you leaving? Are you coming back?" He said, "No, I'm not coming back." So I believed him. I know he's not coming back. So I just decided to keep my flight, and I was gonna go out, and I was gonna leave, and that was gonna be the end of us, But he came back. I had to insert this real quick, y'all. So the revelation that God gave me, the reason why they text each other and advise this plan to do this. Okay, so remember when the best friend came over with this big old drama, acting like a big old drama queen about the pot. They used that to devise a plan to make it seem like that made him so angry, the reason to leave, right? And so what the Lord told me was, the reason why they wanted to leave was because remember the best friend who got that girl's number from Duns Hill Rivers Falls, and I just remembered all of that was the same day. So we had went to Duns Hill Rivers earlier that day, and so this is the same day, the evening when this argument all this went down, right, which was the day before I was scheduled to leave. And so the Lord told me that they did that so that my boyfriend could take him, because the best friend didn't drive, nor did he have a car, to go see old girl. And I'm going to tell you something. I wouldn't even be surprised because of how evil my ex-boyfriend was. I promise you, they probably, I'm going to be very transparent, okay? They probably ran a train on her, and they probably did something. They probably both had sex with her. I'm just being honest, okay? He banged on the door. He had to knock hard because the area where we slept at was, it was like, it wasn't right there by the front door. It wasn't a real small Airbnb. It wasn't real tiny, but it was far enough away from the front door. And anyway, it was bigger than a hotel room, put it like that. And I got up and answered the door. I know. I know, y'all. I should have let him bang that door till his knuckles bled. I know. But remember, old insecure little old me. I opened the door. And turned around and walked. I ain't greet him. I opened the door and I unlocked it, as a matter of fact. Turned around and walked back to my bedroom. Walked back to the room, the bedroom area. And I went to sit down, and I laid in the bed, and he sits down on the other bed and just sits there and watches me with this fake solemn look on his face. Y'all, it was like a whole movie. It really was. So he sits there looking at me like this. And I'm like, I know you're not sitting over here across this bed trying to make it look like you feel bad for what you did. I ain't say nothing to him. I turned over. and went to sleep. As a matter of fact, I made him sleep in that other bed too. Don't you know you cannot sleep in the same bed with me. I don't even want to look at you right now. I turned over, turn the other way. And but then in the morning, got up, showered, and wouldn't you know, this Bama still wanted to do the next morning before it was time for me to leave. He was trying to do with me. And I was like, it's the boldness for me, y'all. It's the blatant disrespect and blatant I don't care boldness for me. But that is what a narcissist is, right? That's how they are. But no, and no, I know you are wondering if I did. Absolutely not. I said no, sir. That's all. I mean, I had some type of little bit dignity, okay. And but he dropped me off at the airport. Now here's the thing that happens with the soul tie. As much as he did to me, and I had another friend that I called at the airport and told her what happened. But even before that part, when he dropped me off, well, first he stopped to get me because I kept saying I wanted to taste a coconut because I had never had coconut. You know, like a real coconut, not nothing from the grocery store here. And so we stopped on the side of the road. He bought this coconut, and lady gave it to me, and I was in the car, you know, and they give you a straw to drink it out of. And I was just like, I don't see what the big deal is. It's okay. I'd rather have regular water. That's just my preference. You know, I thought it was just gonna be like this really sweet, exotic taste. You know, tropical. I was just like, I really don't understand the big deal. But anyway, so we get to the airport, get out the car. He gives me this long hug, and I think like a peck. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't no passionate kiss or nothing like that. I don't know if it was because he couldn't park right there long. And he was trying to leave or what. But that was it. That was our last final goodbye to each other. And but then he texted me once I got in, got my airline, my tickets and stuff prepared, checked in and everything. He texted me and was like, I distinctly remember him saying, I feel like that was the last time I'm gonna see you. And you know what's crazy? Because remember, even though I'm in sin, full-blown sin, I still got the Holy Ghost. And it was like when he said it, it was like he said that on text, but it was like I knew that. It was like in my spirit, in my belly, I felt the same way. I was like, this gonna be the last time. But I ain't want to admit it. So now the waterworks come. Oh, child. Because I have a soul tie. I have an abusive soul tie to this person. But nonetheless, I have a soul tie to him now. And so I'm sitting in the airport. I think I got something to eat. Yeah, I think I got some Domino's or something like that, some wings or something like that. And as I was sitting there, I was venting to the person that was my friend at the time, and not the girl that I told you I called that night, not her. It was somebody else. That was supposed to be my friend. I would find out then that she was extremely jealous of me. She was not my friend. I had talked to her about it, and you know how somebody always trying to coach you about yourself, but they don't take advice when you try to tell them about themselves. She was that type of person. But anyway, so she's going on and on. You can do better and blah 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 blah. She's trying to encourage me, but at the same time she was extremely jealous of me. But anyway, so got off the phone with her, and I'm sitting in the airport, you know, I'm sitting in the waiting area waiting for my flight, and y'all, it's just I couldn't help it. The tears they wouldn't stop. They just kept rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. Get on the plane. The tears is rolling and rolling and rolling. I'm like, oh my God, you are Lord. Why can't I stop? Please help me stop. These people gonna think I'm crazy. And yeah, so that's it for this episode. You know, I'll follow up on the next one. If you are not a subscriber, I would encourage you to subscribe. And come on back. And if you could relate to anything that I said in this story, drop us a line in the comments, because people receive when they can relate. And come on back so I can finish telling you my business. I love you, But know that God loves you so much more. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.